Alright, here we go. First game. It's Rini. Do not know who this is. Can't keep one power hands, so easy ship. So this hand's okay. We get to cast spells. We even have a turn 3 plague if we need it, because we can search up things with secret pages, search up that shadow sigil. Pretty much our power's influence is going to be perfect this game. We drew the shadow sigil, so in this situation we want to pick up another fire because we do have some double fires later in the game. It doesn't really matter right now, but yeah, I was kind of hoping he didn't have Felon Stranger. We definitely want to hold on to Plague for if they play Scouting Party. That can be a problem. So, what can we do here? Like, we could just play the sword and attack, but if we get this out and they don't play any more units, then it's possible the sword will attack and survive on turn 5, but a lot of things can go wrong with that, like if they just play any other units, which is pretty likely. They play a lot of the 2/5s, the 3/5s. They play things, but they sometimes don't. Sometimes they just play like draw spells on turns 3 and 4. The other thing is, well, I guess we were on the play, so turn 5 we're not going to have to plague. So let's try that. At this point, it doesn't really matter what we get. And I don't care about taking 2 damage. It's more about how can I make this sword better. Like, if it's possible that we can have this sword stick around for many turns, that can be like a game-winning thing. And our hand doesn't have much else going on. Like Plague. Plague is actually okay in the matchup, but not the best. This matchup is tough unless we draw some Desert Marshals for their Champion of Cunnings. We're set up to do that at some point, but... Alright, so he did have the turn 4 Yeti, but we have many answers. So this is actually going to work out pretty nicely. Because, yeah, we're going to net an armor still, and then play this, and this will have 3. We'll kill that. So it kind of depends if they play a unit this turn. Hopefully they don't. Fortunately they did. Ooh, but we drew the Rune Hammer, so that's even better. Yeah, so the Rune Hammer's nice here. That we could Plague and Sword, but I want to have Plague ready in case they do another party later. So if I do this, we get to kill this thing, and then they'll attack back, but it'll hit for 1. We'll keep the Runehammer around to get another armor, attack again. So again, to play no more units, this can stick around for a while and potentially just win the game outright. But if they have a Champion of Cunning, we lose it. I'm guessing they do, yeah. But there's not much we can do about that. We did draw Desert Marshal, which is nice. So I'm just thinking how we can kill this. Like, we're gonna silence it, block, Plague, and sort it down. So we can wait. Hopefully they play another... Well, I guess if they... Yeah, this could be bad. Maybe we wanted to silence this in our turn, because if they play a Scouting Party, we're in trouble, but they didn't. Alright, so we'll silence that. And we could just eat the 1/1. Yeah, it's going to be better. Retaining the unit's going to be important. Oh, we just drew that, so that's good. Kill that dude. Leave our Marshal back to block. And now we're like building up armor on our Sword of the Sky King, which is nice. But yeah, of course they had another one. Like, it's so hard to beat this deck if they draw 2 champions. It's like pretty much impossible unless you have more. Like, Harsher will be a nice one. But did not get there. So we can Runehammer that down. There's no real way of killing the champion just yet. could Plague, just to take a little bit less damage, but I just don't think it's gonna be worth it. We're gonna need to like draw a Harsh Rule or another Marshal soon. Come on, 3. That's realistic. Yeah, you're not gonna beat these decks if they draw 3 champions, especially with my deck. There's just not many good answers to the champion. I just think it's, I wrote my article earlier this week that I do think it's, I don't know, it might be the best card. Just in that how unique it attacks things and like how quickly it just wins the game without much help. And yes, you have to build your deck around it, but maybe it's the only thing keeping Feln to be a viable thing. Probably, I would argue no, but it does give it just a finisher that just wins very quickly and it's hard to disrupt. I think that deck is really good. I like keeping this hand because we do have Harsh Rule. That kind of solves a lot of problems. And the Conduit will let us have a turn 3 play that can block a lot of things, or even a turn 2 play, depending what they're up to. Alright, so we'll just run that one out there. So turn 3 I'm definitely playing this. Turn 4 Rising for something. Not sure what. Maybe Rourke Runehammer would be a good choice. I like that. Sometimes you don't want to play this on 3 just because of Torch, but this doesn't look like a Torch deck, so I'm happy to just play it. Nice. So we've got it all going. So I'm thinking we want a Relic Weapon. These decks can have a hard time with Relic Weapons sometimes. So what do we get? Like we're 1 power away from Daisho. But we have another Rise, so... Though I think with the second Rise we might want to get a Seraph or a Mystic Ascendant. Possibly another Desert Marshal. Problem with Runehammer is that it can die to Vara's Favor, which I don't like. You know what, I think I'm just going to get the Daisho. I'm expecting a draw 2 here. Yeah. We can just Rise again for like a Seraph or an Ascendant. Probably Seraph, like they play Annihilate, so Seraph just dodges a bit of the removal. Alright, so we got there on the 6 power. He might be scared to block. It was not. So I think we do go ahead and grab a unit. And I think it's just going to be... Seraph is kind of slow. Maybe I'll just get the Ascendant to get some cheap guaranteed value, because we are going to have some expensive things going on. So yeah, this Daisho is going to go berserk next turn. This puts a lot of pressure on them to have more units, and if they play more units, we get to Harsh Rule and just keep Daishoing them. So I think we're probably going to win this game. That's my guess. Lightning, no. There's the Annihilate. So good. Gets that out of their hand. Now if we ever draw a stash, we can have a pretty big Conduit later down the road. Kind of annoying if they have Party. Yeah. But I think we just Harsh Rule it. If they have Backlash, oh my god, it's awful. Okay, so no Backlash. So we're going to put them to 4. We've got Desert Marshal. Alright. It's annoying. I think we can wait on the Marshal. think we just throw this away. It's not gonna... We could try to sit on it to draw a harsh roll, but I don't think that's the best idea. That is a reason maybe to sit on it. What I'm looking to do here is silence a Champion of Cunning, is my plan. That's not good. Well, now I have to do this. I don't want him to draw more cards. That's a card that's kind of annoying. It makes our stashes worse, but that's alright. Doesn't really matter what we find. Yeah, it does make our conduits a lot worse, which is annoying. And now they draw the champion. Yeah. I do think Champion is one of the better Champion decks, or one of the better things you can be doing against Armory decks, just as a general rule. They're just so good, like against Harsh Rule, like against weapons. They're kind of built to counter it, which I like. This hand's a little weird because we kind of need to get double justice, but then we're locked out of time and fire. So I think we're going to try to do better. And just having 2 power is not great. The benefit of that hand is that it does have the harsh roll. And just having a harsh roll can be an important thing. Like against these decks, I would have really liked to have a guaranteed harsh roll in hand, but it's alright. Harsh roll decks tend to be pretty good against this type of thing. Though, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna try to... Our hand's slow. Let's slow them down. We should probably go on mute there. Alright. So... I think it's gonna be better to just do this. It's weird they didn't attack with that. They definitely will now. Do I want to block? I think I do. We have stash. We want it to die anyway. We want to kind of protect our sword here. And I think we're just going to run this out right now. So we possibly get to have it live. I mean, we'll probably have to just run it in, get another Warcry trigger. But, yeah, that's alright. So we actually can't cast either of these, which is a problem. We don't really want a Rune Hammer because it can't kill the Titan. We'll just get the Warcry trigger. Like, it's gonna die either way, so we may as well get the Warcry trigger. That's why, like, I don't love the Sword of the Karya, but now notice it keeps that armor, so it's a 3/4 because we had 2 armor when we played it. So when we stash it back, it'll be a 3/4. But we're not gonna win this game without a harsh roll, is my prediction. Though this kind of is good. 2 Visages buy us a lot of time. But yeah, we need harsh roll. We need it now. But we do get to kill this, which is nice. Well, that's cool. It doesn't really... I mean, it lets us kill this, but I think we want to kill the Iron Thorn first. You know, having 4 armor is nice. So Shadow Sigil would be good. Oh no, they've got a Marshal. That's alright. Yeah, maybe I should have held that in case we drew an Ascendant. Yeah, that was bad. But, like, Stash kind of wants us to play out all of our power. We are going to die if we don't draw Harsh Rule. It's pretty much a guarantee. I wonder if they're sitting on... I bet you they are now, the Stand Together. Well, that's not going to be good enough. They've got 10 coming at us, so, well, let's see. This is where, like, having... Well, I guess we can... I guess we're not dead. May as well get back the two big ones, I think. They can't really spot remove this all that well, so we just get to chump, and then maybe take over the game with these weapons if they don't have anything. It's unlikely they don't have anything. But this, like, ooh, that's really annoying. Makes our stash awful. Well, we have to kill it, obviously, but I think we're probably dead on board now, though. I haven't done the math, but we, like, kill this and take lots of damage, or 10, 12, yeah, don't think we can survive. Yeah, definitely dead. Yeah, if we had Harsh Roll, this game would be easy, but maybe we should have kept that first hand. Like I was saying, like, having guaranteed... We didn't have guaranteed 5 power, but having the Harsh Roll in hand is a powerful thing in some matchups. Anytime matchup, for example. But then again, it's dead against, or near dead against a lot of the control decks. So this deck is... Best matchup is probably what we just played against. Any sort of time-based mid-range Titans, like, we've got all kinds of stuff to beat that. Just didn't draw any Vanquishes or any Harsh Rules. You do need probably a Harsh Rule to beat them, but if you have one, it becomes really easy. Keeping under the, following that last principle, though we do have both access to Plague and the double Justice that we need thanks to the secret pages. Alright. We've got Stash online. That game would have been a lot easier too if we hit our Shadow on time, so a couple of things went wrong for us there. The deck kind of did not do its thing. So we want a Fire Sigil. Then we'll be completely fixed. Yep. Ooh. So this is a control mirror match, which is awesome for us. Like, they have such a hard time with just a Runehammer. I wonder what they're gonna pick. They should probably pick Stash, because I don't think they can beat it. But they also might not be able to beat the Runehammer. Problem is, like, these cards are horrible in the matchup generally. Yeah, they took the Runehammer. That's alright. That's probably pretty smart. But our deck's, like, inherently advantaged because they just have a hard time dealing with relic weapons, generally. Unless they're the build that plays lots of units, in which case our Harsh Rolls become okay. So I think they're kind of in trouble no matter where we end up. Like, how do they beat the sword? They have to Rain of Frogs it again? Like, I don't know how you're playing Rain of Frogs in a metagame with so much aggression. Like, you can't take turn 4 off and just against Rakano, which is everywhere, or the token decks. I just don't get how you can justify playing this. Maybe it's a one of, sure, but yeah, don't really agree with that. I like it as a sideboard card, kind of, but not main deck in this meta. It seems crazy. Well, 2 can play the Secret Pages game. And they have no great ways to put on pressure on our armor, so when we drop this sword, it's going to have tons of armor, which is sweet. So again, it doesn't really matter what we pick up. I think they have Annihilate. Oh, no, they won't have Annihilate. What would they have? That's a fast spell for 2. I can't think of it. Winter, doesn't matter at all. Oh, that's annoying. But we have so many other weapons, like we're just gonna draw another weapon, then he won't be able to beat that weapon, whatever it is. So, I don't know. Don't think we're gonna lose this, despite his nonsense. Like, Sword of Icaria, he may not be able to beat a Sword of Icaria once resolved. Especially with Stash backup. Okay. He's just playing millions of Reigns of Frogs. I don't see I think he ever beats aggressive decks when he's doing that, but sure. I'm sure he has a lot of ways to kill this. That's alright, though. He already has one in play. I should have played my frog. Meanwhile, gaining lots of life. Depending on what his win condition is, he might be like trying to deck me. That would be pretty rude. I should start holding power though for Mystic Ascendant. There's another Visage. Clock begins. Now we might be in trouble because if they have their own Sword of the Sky King, it's going to be hard to win. But we have 4 Rise to the Challenge. I mean, come on. We got so many good draws here. Just need to get there. It doesn't matter. Keeping his armor down is a thing. I think I will play 1. It's unlikely that the Mystic Ascendant's going to survive for too long. Probably just going to get 1 draw out of it. That's a good one. Kind of. We can just, like, silence this and attack. Get in some damage. Harshal will probably be coming shortly. That's right. If he is trying to... Well, they're probably going to try to win with Sword of the Sky King, is my guess. I was going to say, if they're trying to win with, like, you know, Channel the Tempest, we might be out of range of that at this point, possibly. I think we have plenty of backup power. We might want to be able to Rise for a Seraph and activate in the same turn. That's quite a bit. We need like 7 plus 8. We need 15. Yeah. Let's make a huge con. Conduit. Comes win condition. Though, you know, if they're trying to win with a sword, they will need to remove this, the harsh rule, and then sword. So, curious what they're going to find. Should find out soon. Okay, that is an interesting one. Enemies cannot play spells. It's gonna make my rise to the challenges a lot worse. I think I might be just dead now. Like, I need to draw Sword of the Sky King. If I draw that, we could be in good shape. So I guess that's what they searched up. That's actually pretty insane. Like, they can't harsh roll now, they lose their own guy. Let's just make it even bigger. They could have Vanquish, though. You know, they could have a lot of things. I'm guessing Vanquish. I will say turning my stashes into frogs makes me feel less confident that I'm going to win. Didn't think they'd play 3 Rain of Frogs in one game. Wow, really? So they're just going to harsh roll? So that is an even trade. No channel. Alright. Come on, Sword of the Sky King one time, or Rise to the Challenge one time. I'm just gonna run this back. Get in 12. Take off all the armor. I think getting rid of their armor could be relevant. Daisho would be a good draw. Sure, I'm just gonna chump. It's fine. Harsh roll coming. Or excavate into harsh roll would work too. There it is, finally. Oh yeah, they took our sword already. We just have to grab a Daisho. A Daisho with billions of armor. Like, even their own sword of the Sky King doesn't beat this. Because we have so much more armor. Yeah, what are you gonna excavate? Sure. I guess if they have Decay in their deck, that'd be really bad for us. Really bad. Hope they don't have that. I bet you he's getting sword or something. Oh man, they have Decay? Really? But imagine how nuts this would be if we had our stashes. We just have that to get back every time. Wow. That's so lucky. I just think this guy's deck is fundamentally flawed. Like, this, you're playing Decays and Rain of Frogs. Like, you're not going to beat more Rain of Frogs. You're just not going to beat the aggressive decks often enough to be playing all that. Like, maybe he's just running into nothing but control decks, so he wants to have, like, all this hate. But, you know, or he's just... People have their reasons for doing things, but if he's trying to, like, climb the ladder quickly, that's not the way to do it. So I'm not giving up just yet. If I wasn't recording this, I'd probably give up here just to, you know, climb the ladder quicker. Like, we might win, but it's more likely we're just gonna get ground out. We don't have that many wins anymore. Like, we can get the Maul, but it's more likely they're just gonna get more excavates for decay, so I don't know. I'm not sure. One reason I want to stay in is if they are relying on winning with Channel the Tempest, we might be way out of range of them ever killing us with that now. In reality, I don't think they could kill us with Channel at this point. Maybe, but we just have so much health and we're getting 4 every turn. Like, they're going to need another permanent threat, like sort of the Sky King most likely is how they're going to win. Wow, they're just killing the frog. That seems questionable. And I imagine we're winning the decking battle. Yeah, we're winning that side of it. This just comes down to if they're playing Sword of the Sky King. They have every other, you know, kind of one of tech card. They're definitely going to have it. But we'll see. Oh, there's a thing. I hope he plays the sword now, though I guess we wouldn't be able to kill it. I am, again, just gonna do this. Clear off all the armor. I think that's gonna be worth it. I'm surprised if they have Wasp or something here. Alright. Yet another chump block. Oh, no chump block. Really? Okay. They give up on their armor. Get rid of the last sigils in our deck. We're still in really comfortable shape in terms of decking. They're way more likely to get decked here. Well, that's going to help our cause. Now we might get to a point where they, like, this means they have to again Harshal before the sword even does anything. So, like, I kind of like our chances. Really depends what his other win conditions are supposed to be. Like, he could just get back the 8/8. That's pretty strong. Yeah, I imagine that's coming. Oh, he's gonna give it Echo. Oh, he's just gonna deck us with that. Okay, that's a problem. Well, the problem is he gets to excavate whatever the heck they want. So, like, they'll just get Decay and kill them all. Or if we get Seraph and activate, they'll just get Harshrul. So we're pretty much dead. I'm going to grab Seraph in case there's some hit I'm not thinking about that protects us from Harshrul. I don't think there is. So this deck's just annoying as hell, obviously. No, if it gets to this point in the game, you're just dead. But I just feel like his build, there's no way he's going to reliably get to this point too often against the aggressive decks. Wow, I like that. No Harshal. He's just going to excavate Harshal next turn, so I'm going to Destiny a million times in the meantime. Oh yeah, there's no more sigils left. It's annoying. We do get to activate this twice. Ugh. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, we'll just send everything. Yeah, I guess we just concede now because they have another excavate in hand. They excavate this, get two more. Like they'll just never deck, whereas we will eventually, and they can partial anytime they want or get decay anytime they want. So they assembled the hard lock. If we had drawn more Rise to the Challenges sooner, we could have won possibly, but did not get there. So I don't think we've won a game. Bad showing for the deck so far, but I think you can see some of the upsides. We've just Champion of Cunning is maybe the worst matchup. We didn't draw Harshal in the one matchup where it was great, and then that Control Mirror, like he just has all these Rain of Frogs, like that's not normal. So I don't think we've run into the best of matchups, or the best of, you know, there's been some variance not going our way in this round. Maybe we'll try to get out of here on a win. I don't like this one just because we can't get to 4. So we have all the colors, but alright. We may want to wait on this to see what we draw. Yeah. We're likely not going to have anything to do on turn 2 anyway, so if we draw a sigil, that might tell us what we should get. Because right now, if we just, like, we probably just need to get Justice, but we can just actually wait again, because we're not going to do anything on turn 3 either. That's pretty bad. Right now we have to get the Justice now, but now we're definitely at the mercy of our deck here. Though we do have Vanquish, this deck is going to have targets. We just would like to kill this either next turn or the turn after would be ideal. Okay, interesting. So just any sigil will be great here. Yeah. That's why I kind of wanted to wait to the last second to see if we could hopefully grab a fire sigil with this, but you know, just things are going horribly for us right now. At least we get to kill this. Yeah, and then he drops the Titan. Yeah, we're probably dead now just because we missed way too many power drops. We can double block something. But still terrible, terrible shape. And if they have Stand Together, we're definitely just dead. Getting ready to concede. Oh. I mean, we're still not really well set up to do anything, though we got lucky there. Ooh, if they play a Desert Marshal and start beating us down, I'll wish I hadn't attacked. No, they didn't. So they don't have... Okay. Come on, any power. Alright, thank you. You sitting on the Desert Marshal? That's so annoying. But, you know, we've got the Rune Hammer. Could be okay if they don't have any much of a follow-up. We do have a Chump Blocker if they play something to protect our Rune Hammer for a turn. Alright. Or not. I'm not gonna risk it. Like, us getting in 3 damage here is not gonna make a difference in how if we win or not. It's way worse for us if they flashed in a attacker there. Alright, so we can play this. Definitely not risking the attack there either. So now we might be onto something. That's a good answer. This doesn't do anything anymore for now. Let's just do this. Again, these decks don't have good ways of just reaching out and removing that, so I feel pretty safe leaving that back just to chump block and survive for turn. But though now we are going to need a power. Ooh. Yuck. Harsh Rule would be good. Kind of necessary to win at this point. No such luck. Now we're just dead. Yeah. So I guess just kidding, this deck's horrible? I don't know. I think the deck's still fine. I just... terrible run of luck, I think, overall. Yeah, I just don't like keeping 2 power hands all that much. Like, we're not playing Seraph to be a 3-drop, like, it's okay, fine on 3, obviously, but we're playing it as, like, an 11-drop to play and activate in the same turn. It's not going to get the job done otherwise, generally. So, we have all the colors, at least. Guys, taking forever. Alright, we have an opponent. Not the best hand against a fire deck, but not the worst either. This can be decent, but if this is like the mid-range deck, I like our chances. Unless they are the weapon smuggler stash deck, in which case it's going to be a slog. Champion of Chaos, it's good for us. We don't want to mess around here. We can't let it get to be a 4/4. Annoying. Wonder what they're gonna take. So there's definitely a mid-range deck. The aggressive decks don't play Sabotage. I bet you they play another one. They love Sabotage. Ooh, Feldscar. So this is a Champion of Cunning deck. Not the best. Should have played Time Sigil there. That's a mistake. It could be a pretty big mistake, actually. don't want to stash back just one thing, so we can wait. We're going to have nice targets with these two eventually. Alright, so we just get to dice show them. And their best response is probably something like a... Oh, really? Why would they torch it now? That makes not much sense. Var's favor. Oh, Harbinger. Okay. So I'm going to let the Harbinger go for a bit. I don't care too much about it. Doesn't really matter what we get here. Don't really want to silence it because I want to keep this for Champion of Cunning. I just want them to commit more to the board before we harsh roll. Alright, there we go. Do I care? I probably don't care about just taking this. I want this for the next champion. Then again, I was probably going to stash anyway, so maybe I should have to save the... I would have saved quite a bit of damage. I like just... They probably have removal for this, but that's good, because we're just going to stash it back, so... Let's let them remove it. We need the unit to pick up anyway. So I'm predicting a win here. Like, we could get comboed out anyway. That's just how good Champion of Cunning is, but we'll see. Yeah, we all knew you were going to kill it. You must be just distracted doing other things. Ooh, that's tempting. I think... Let's see. We can kill it with Sword of Icaria this turn. I think that's going to be worth it. And we can play an 11/11 conduit right now, which I'm going to do. Well, 1 mana 11/11, no big deal. Yep. So that's kind of the power of Conduit with Stash. Aside from the fact that it just stacks up and its bonuses, like, you don't have to play it for the full amount. You can play it for 1 power and have a 10/10. That's just more than enough. So that's like another big part of the power of the deck. So we kind of saw what it did there. I'm going to play one more for the road. Hopefully end with more than 1 win, but we'll see. There is quite a lot of variety in the meta, so it's pretty hard to have a deck that beats everything. Pretty much every deck's going to have some holes. And I'd say one of the holes for this is certainly Champion of Cunning. It's beatable. We saw it there. We can beat it, but you need to have the right cards. And that first time around, well, we lost to one draw where the guy had 3 champions, which is going to be hard for anyone. So we got all the colors again this time. Another Champion of Cunning deck. So now what do we want to get? We're going to end up wanting a Shadow and a Fire. I'm going to grab the Shadow. It doesn't really matter. Turn 3, you're almost certainly casting this for the Fire. Yeah. We could play this as a 3/3, but I want to play this on 4. Grab a weapon to put pressure on. I mean, we could grab a Marshal just because how important they are in the matchup, but I think we want want something else. Again, I'm not in love with getting Runehammer. I think what I'm going to do is play this on 5 as a 5/5, and on 6 we'll just get a dice show. So I think that's going to be better. Ooh, that's interesting. We'll keep the shadow a secret for now. Expect a Vanquish or a Death Strike or something. Annihilate, yep. That works. See, they might just lose to this, possibly. But Champion of Cunning's coming down next turn, which will kill it outright. Don't like that. Nope, doesn't have the right influence. So now if they do kill it, we get to stash it back and the conduit, which is pretty powerful. Alright, so now I imagine they're getting a Champion of Cunning or a way to enable it. Or they had no outs? That seems weird. Alright, well, thanks for watching, everyone. We can take another look at the deck. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's some flexibility here. Plague isn't what we needed in this round of games. Maybe even more silence effects. I don't think that's really what was missing. I would just recommend playing this list as is for a little while and tuning some of these things to what you're seeing. Maybe we just need more Vanquishes, actually. But I think our bigger problem was just how some of those draws worked out for us. The other thing is, this deck doesn't win quickly, so you don't get to see a ton of games, and so one game might feel horrible. Like that game, some of these games felt horrible, but they stand out more because we didn't actually get to play all that many games. The games take a long time to win or lose because we kind of stick around for a while, so we feel the pain for longer, if that makes sense. So this was a really small sample size, and don't be too scared to play the deck. I think it's a lot of fun. I think, yeah, the interactions we talked about in the deck tech are good. So I think if you're looking to play a harsh rule deck or looking to play an armory deck, so harsh rule plus weapons, I think this is a cool alternative to some of the other things that are out there. So give it a shot, and definitely keep coming back to numotgaming.com for more content.